Children, now see the health aspects of alimentary canal. What do you mean by the health aspects? And we know that right from mouth to the anus, the tube is called as the alimentary canal. And so many types of food material we will take. Okay, and sometimes you see if the food is not accepted by our body, what you will do? You will just vomit. Yes or no? Why this vomiting will take place? And what happens if we take large, the food which is having large proportion of fat? Is the liver able to cope up that? Let us discuss these points. The human alimentary canal usually functions remarkably well considering how badly we treat it on occasion. Sometimes it rebels and we feel either sick or having indigestion. So, if we treat well, if you will treat well, our alimentary canal functions properly. Sometimes, occasionally, what you will do, by mistake, you will consume the food poisoning or poisonous food materials, okay, or the spoiled food materials, or the food material which is having larger proportion of fat, okay. So, these are the cases where you will go for the rejection of the food from our body. Vomiting is the body's method of ridding itself of unwanted or harmful substances from the stomach. What is that, children? Vomiting. So what is vomiting? Vomiting is nothing but here ridding, okay, ridding unwanted materials, ridding of unwanted materials or harmful materials from the stomach. The peristaltic movements of the stomach and esophagus reverse their normal direction and the food is expelled. And you know that here, see children, this is the esophagus, this is esophagus, okay, and here, okay, and here this is the stomach. So here the movements will be there, peristaltic movement. The movements will go actually in this direction. But during vomiting, what will happen? This will come in this direction and the food will come out. The food will come out. So here there are many causes of vomiting, but one of the most common is overeating. What is the main cause of vomiting? Overeating. Yes. There are many causes, but one of the most causes is overeating. Okay. Especially when the food contains high proportion of fat. When you will consume the food which is having high proportion of fat, definitely the digestive system rebels and the ridding of the food will comes out. Vomiting also occurs when we eat something very indigestible or poisonous. If you eat poisonous or indigestible, what will happen? The vomiting will occur. When we have a greenish vomit, usually called bilious or liverish, we get a bitter taste. So sometimes we vomit a green color. Okay. So that is usually called bilious. Or liverish. Bilious or liverish. Okay. That indicates we get a bitter taste and it is often the result of having overeaten. The liver is unable to cope with the excessive fat and we feel nausea. What is nausea? Nausea is vomiting sensation, children. Nausea is vomiting sensation. So here what it is telling? If we take a food contains high proportion of fat, we usually have a green color vomiting which is called as bilious or liverish, where the liver unable to cope up that and we have the feeling of nausea. Indigestion is general term used when there is a difficulty in digesting the food. Okay, what is indigestion? Simply difficulty in digesting the food is called indigestion. Healthy people can usually avoid problems related to digestion by. So how the healthy people can usually avoid the problems related to digestion? Number one is having simple and well balanced meals. Okay, so that is balanced diet. First one is balanced meals. Having simple and balanced meals. That what do you mean by balanced meals? The meals which contains all the nutrients in required quantities is called balanced meals. Avoiding taking violent exercise. Children, you should not do this. Understand? You should not do violent exercise after eating. Understand? If you will do violent exercise after eating, then there will be vomiting. Understand? Next one, drinking plenty of water. Okay, so should drink plenty of water. Drinking plenty of water is good for health. You know this fact? Drinking plenty of water. So drinking plenty of water. Intake of fiber rich food. You should take fiber rich food, children. Fiber rich food is very, very important. It avoids constipation, which is nothing but indigestion. Okay, constipation. Constipation is nothing but indigestion to excrete. To excrete, we feel stomach pain. That is called as constipation. In order to avoid constipation, we should take fiber rich food and we should drink plenty of water and avoid violent exercise after eating and having balanced meals. These are the simple steps so that we can avoid indigestion. A serious condition of indigestion is caused by stomach and duodenal ulcers. Okay, stomach and duodenal ulcers. Stomach and duodenal ulcers. So sometimes the ulcers will be formed. Okay, this is a serious condition. The cause of this may be the kind of diet or an infection or a habit. So what is the cause for this ulcer? The kind of diet or any infection in the gastrointestinal system or the diet. You have studied about this recent researches in the peptic ulcers caused by some bacteria in class 8. Now let us have diseases, topic of diseases due to malnutrition. Okay. Children, now let's see. We have 3 types of malnutrition. Actually, before going to that, what is malnutrition? Malnutrition. Mal means bad. If you won't take proteins, calories, okay, in required quantities, it leads to malnutrition. So one should have a balanced diet which contain the proper amount of carbohydrates, vitamins and proteins. 2/3 of the whole world population is affected by food related diseases. See children, 2/3 of the world population is affected by food related diseases. Most of them are facing various diseases due to lack of balanced diet. See, if most of the people due to maybe poverty or economical status and wrong beliefs on the food habits, the people are facing these types of problem. It is very important to discuss about the food deficiency diseases. Eating of food that does not have, eating of food that does not have, eating of food that does not have, eating of food that does not have one or more than one nutrient, one or more than one nutrient, one or more than one nutrient, okay, in required amounts is called malnutrition. Is called malnutrition. That means if you take the food which is not having one or more than one nutrient, that means if anything is missing, that can be considered as malnutrition. So what are the reasons? Poor health. Poor health, if the health is not good, yes, it leads to malnutrition. Willful starvation. Some people wantedly, they will starve, they won't eat. That is willful starvation. Lack of awareness on nutritional habits. They do not have, the children or the people who are not educated, they are not having a good knowledge on these nutritional habits. So that is a lack of awareness. Socio-economic factors, that is poverty, are the reasons. Now let us go for the types of malnutrition. There are 3 types of malnutrition. One is protein malnutrition. What is the meaning of protein malnutrition, children? One is protein malnutrition. That means if proteins are missing or less proteins are there in the diet, that can be considered as protein malnutrition. Second one is calorie malnutrition. Second one is calorie malnutrition. Third one is both protein calorie. Protein calorie. Protein calorie. Okay. So here Let us see the three types of malnutrition. So here, if the protein deficiency is there, that can be considered as protein malnutrition. If calories or carbohydrates are missing, that is called as calorie malnutrition. If both are there, that can be considered as protein calorie malnutrition. So here let us observe the harmful effects of malnutrition in children. The first one is kwashiorkor. What is the first disease, children? First one is kwashiorkor. This is very important, children, kwashiorkor. This is due to protein deficiency in diet. The first point is protein deficiency. That means if proteins are missing or less, that can lead to this disease which is called as kwashiorkor. Then what are the symptoms? What happens if this disease occur? Body parts become swollen. So body parts become swollen due to accumulation of water. So water will be accumulated and the body parts become swollen in the intercellular spaces. A very poor muscle development. Poor muscle development. Poor muscle development. Very poor muscle development. Very poor muscle development. Swollen legs. The legs will be swollen. Swollen legs. The legs will be swelled. Next one is fluffy face. Fluffy. The face will be fluffy. Okay. Difficult to eat. Diarrhea is loose motion. Dry skin. So these are the symptoms. Okay. So here once again I repeat. Kwashiorkor is due to protein malnutrition. That means deficiency of proteins in the diet. Then what are the symptoms? Body parts become swollen due to the accumulation of water in the intercellular spaces. Next one, poor muscle development, swollen legs and fluffy face, okay, and difficult to eat, diarrhea and dry skin. Difficult to eat, diarrhea and dry skin are the symptoms of this kwashiorkor. Okay, now let's see marasmus. Children, you have seen the symptoms of kwashiorkor like fluffy face, diarrhea, dry skin, okay, and difficult to eat. What do you mean by fluffy, children? Fluffy is nothing but having fluff. Fluff means if you see the kitten will be having fluff, no, like that. Now let's go for the second one, that is marasmus. Next is marasmus. First disease is kwashiorkor, next one is marasmus. This is due to deficiency of both proteins and calories. You have seen kwashiorkor is due to the deficiency of proteins. Marasmus is due to the deficiency of both proteins and calories. Both proteins and calories. Right? Next one, generally this disease occurs when there is an immediate second pregnancy. So here what happens? There should be some gap between child to child children. If there is no gap for the mother, automatically the baby which is inside the womb can't be nourished properly. Why? Because the baby, anyway the newborn baby and will be 1 year, 1.5 years. When there is an immediate second pregnancy, the mother has to look after the baby, okay, first baby, and she may ignore the second baby. That is the reason. Okay. So here, immediate second pregnancy or repeated childbirths. So symptoms are lean and weak. Lean and weak. You know this meaning. Very weak. So you can see the figures also here. Page number 17, figure 14 and figure 15. Kwashiorkor and marasmus. Okay. So lean and weak, less developed muscles, dry skin, diarrhea. These are the common symptoms in the kwashiorkor also. So this is about marasmus, dry skin, diarrhea, lean and weak, and less developed muscles. Now let's go for the third one, which is obesity. Children, you have seen the obesity. You know that some children, even they are small also, they look very fat. So that is called as obesity. When more than 20% of our body weight is due to fat, that can be considered as obese. So how this obesity will be treated? There is no treatment for obesity. Simply have to follow the exercise and low intake of diet or low intake of food. Apart from the deficiency diseases mentioned above like Kwashiorkor and marasmus, so obesity is also there. It contains, why this obesity? High intake of high caloric food. Okay, in this condition a person gets extra fat and overweight. Obese children may suffer from problems. Now what are the problems? Cardiovascular. So what are the problems, children? Cardiovascular. Cardiovascular means related to heart. So heart problems. If the person is fat, then there will be a chance for heart problems. Renal. Renal is kidney. What is the meaning of renal? Renal is kidney problems and gallbladder also. You know, this gallbladder is a digestive part. Okay, right. So obesity is the third type. The first two types are due to the missing of carbohydrates and proteins. The third type is not missing, excess intake of food. Excess intake of food. Then how to treat this? Exercise must be there, regular exercise and low intake of high calorie food. Okay. So this ends our malnutritional diseases. So one more concept is there, children, that is vitamin deficiency diseases. You can call vitamins also, but in biology, so many people will pronounce like vitamins. Okay. So vitamin deficiency diseases. Now let's see that. Okay. Children, we have seen the malnutritional diseases. Now it is vitamin deficiency diseases. Before going to the concept, actually what are vitamins? So vitamins are the organic substances. So vitamins are organic substances, children. These are micronutrients. That means these are required in small quantities. So these are organic substances. Vitamins are organic substances and they are micronutrients. That's just now I told, they are micronutrients. That means they are required in small quantities. Small quantities, micronutrients. These are micronutrients. Right. So next one, actually vitamins are not synthesized in our body. We do not generally suffer from vitamin deficiency. What is the reason? These are not synthesized in our body. We do not generally suffer from vitamin deficiency. The source of vitamins to our body is through two ways. One is diet and the other is bacteria present in the intestine that synthesize and supplies vitamins to our body. Usually these vitamins are not synthesized in our body. Even though they are not synthesized, we do not generally suffer from the deficiency. Why? Because there are two sources. Without our knowledge only, we will take in the diet. The first source is the diet and second source is the bacteria present in the intestine. The bacteria which is present in the intestine also synthesize and supply vitamins to our body. These vitamins are classified into mainly two groups. How many groups, children? Two groups. Okay, based on their solubility. Based on their solubility, vitamins are divided into two groups. One is fat soluble vitamins. Some vitamins are soluble in fats. Those are called as fat soluble vitamins. And the other one is water soluble vitamins. Other one is water soluble vitamins. First one is fat soluble vitamins. Second one is water soluble vitamins. Fat soluble vitamins are vitamin A, D, E, K. What is this, children? Vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K. These four are the vitamins that are soluble in fats. That is why they are called fat soluble vitamins. And second one is water soluble vitamins. Vitamin B complex. B complex means so many B type vitamins are there, children, not only single. Okay, and vitamin C. These are soluble in water. So once again I repeat here, vitamins are divided into two groups. Fat soluble vitamins, vitamin A, D, E and K, and water soluble vitamins B complex and C. Now let us see the page number 19. There is a chart of vitamins. Okay, so many vitamins are there. This is important. Why? Because the question will be there definitely. The question will be asked either in the multiple choice or 1 mark or 2 marks. Okay, that is why you have to remember this vitamins list. Okay. Children, now let's see the vitamin B complex and vitamin C first, which are water soluble. So just now I told B complex means so many B type of vitamins are there. So here vitamin resources means from where they are getting, from where these vitamins are getting are considered as resources. Deficiency diseases. What happens if this vitamin is not up to the mark in our body? That means what happens if the vitamin is less in our body, then what are the diseases and the symptoms? So this is very important. First one is thiamine, children. First one is thiamine. Thiamine is called as vitamin B1. Thiamine is called as vitamin B1 and the resources are cereals. Children, what is cereals? Rice, wheat, jowar, all these are cereals. So, what are the resources? Cereals. Okay, cereals. Next one, oil seeds. You know oil seeds very well. So, cereals, oil seeds, vegetables. Cereals, oil seeds, vegetables. Milk, meat, fish, eggs. These are common, children. Milk, meat, fish, eggs. So, egg or fish or milk is very, very, very important. For so many vitamins, if you see, these are the resources. Okay. So, milk, meat, egg, fish. So, this vitamin is available in cereals, oil seeds, vegetables, milk, meat, egg, fish. Then what happens if this vitamin is less in our diet? Then deficiency disease, that is beriberi. What is the disease, children? Beriberi. Okay. What is the disease? Beriberi. And symptoms for this disease is vomitings. Children, you know vomitings very well. Fits. Fits are called convulsions. Say if you see any person with fits, okay, he will definitely fall down and his nervous system will be not won't function properly. Loss of appetite. Appetite is hungerness. Loss of appetite. Difficulty in breathing. So, the person who is having this vitamin deficiency can't breathe properly. And paralysis. So, paralysis is nothing but the limbs and the left side or the right side, okay, won't function properly. Right? So, once again I repeat the symptoms: vomitings, fits, loss of appetite, difficulty in breathing, paralysis. Now, let's go for the another vitamin, that is vitamin B2, riboflavin. What is this, children? Riboflavin. So, riboflavin is vitamin B2. Our resources are common, children: milk, eggs, liver, kidney, green leafy vegetables. So, you know that milk, this is also, the milk is also there. Next one is eggs, liver, kidney of whatever, okay, the goat kidney or whatever, okay. So, kidney, green leafy vegetables. Deficiency disease is glossitis. What is the deficiency disease, children? Glossitis. The deficiency disease is glossitis and symptoms are mouth cracks at corners. So, what are the symptoms? Mouth cracks at corners. See, children, so we will be having the corners here. If this vitamin deficiency is there, you can find the cracks at the corners, a red and sore tongue. The tongue will be red and sore means you can feel very hot, okay, and the tongue will be uncomfortable, okay. And next one is photophobia. What is photophobia? Phobia is fear, okay. Photophobia, photo means light. So, difficulty in seeing the light, scaly skin. You can see the skin of a toad or a frog. That will be scaly, no, that is called as scaly skin. So, once again I repeat, vitamin B2 is called riboflavin and the resources are milk, eggs, liver, kidney, green leafy vegetables, and the deficiency disease is glossitis. Symptoms are mouth cracks at corners, photophobia, seeing the light in difficulty or feeling scared to see the light, and next one is red and sore tongue, scaly skin. And next vitamin is vitamin B3, that is niacin, vitamin B3. Okay, so vitamin B1 is thiamine, B2 is riboflavin, okay, B2 is riboflavin, and B3 is niacin. B3 is niacin. I am writing here, niacin is vitamin B3. Niacin is vitamin B3, and resources are kidney, liver, meat, fish, egg, oil, seeds. See the resources: kidney, liver, meat, egg, fish, oil, seeds. Deficiency disease is pellagra. What are the symptoms of this pellagra? Dermatitis, skin problem. Okay, dermatitis. What is that, children? Dermatitis. You can see figure 17. Figure 17, the pellagra hand. Pellagra. Okay, that is dermatitis. Diarrhea. Diarrhea is a loose motion, loss of memory, amnesia, and scaly skin. So these are the symptoms. So dermatitis, skin problem, skin disease. Diarrhea is loose motion, loss of memory, scaly skin. Next one is vitamin B6, pyridoxine. Vitamin B6. What is that, children? Pyridoxine. This is vitamin B6, and the resources are cereals, oil seeds, vegetables, milk, meat, fish, egg, liver. See, this also you can see in vitamin B1 also. Milk, meat, fish, eggs. Okay, and if this deficiency disease is there, if there is a deficiency of this vitamin, the disease is anemia. What do you mean by anemia, children? Yes, anemia is a loss of blood. Anemia is a loss of blood. So anemia, anemia is the loss of blood. The symptoms are hyperirritability. The person will respond hyperly. Okay. Next one is nausea, vomiting sensation. Nausea is vomiting sensation. Vomiting sensation is different from vomiting, children. Okay. Next one is nausea, vomiting, fits. So this is about the symptoms of anemia. Now let's go for vitamin B12, cyanocobalamin. Cyanocobalamin, vitamin B12. Where this vitamin will comes from, children? Not from the diet. The bacteria present in our intestine only synthesize this. And the deficiency disease is pernicious anemia. Pernicious. The deficiency disease is pernicious anemia. This is a different anemia, and here the symptoms are lean and weak, less appetite. Less appetite means not feeling hungry. Not feeling hungry. So this is vitamin B12. B1 is thiamine, B2 is riboflavin, B3 is niacin, B6 is pyridoxine, B12 is cyanocobalamin. And folic acid. This is also vitamin B complex only. Okay, this is folic acid. What is this, children? Folic acid. Right. So here folic acid is, you can find the resources. The resources are, so this can be considered as B5, pantothenic acid as B7, and biotin as B9. If you want, you can write. B5 is folic acid. This is not there in the textbook actually. Okay, B5 is a folic acid, and resources are liver, meat, eggs, milk, fruits, cereals, leafy vegetables. See, and the disease is deficiency disease. Once again, anemia. What is anemia? Loss of blood. Anemia is loss of blood. Okay, and the symptoms for this is diarrhea, loose motions, loss of leukocytes. What are leukocytes, children? Leukocytes are WBC. Leukocytes are WBC. We have three types of cells in the blood. Yes or no? RBC, WBC, and platelets. So loss of leukocytes is loss of WBC. Problems related to mucus in the intestine. In the intestine, the mucus will be present. Yes or no? So that if there is any deficiency of this folic acid, then there will be a problem with the mucus that is present in the intestine. Next is pantothenic acid. What is this, children? Pantothenic acid. This is vitamin B7, you can write. Vitamin B7. The sources are sweet potatoes, groundnuts, vegetables, liver, kidney, egg. And the deficiency disease is burning feet. What is the deficiency disease, children? Burning feet. See, you can feel sometimes, okay, the people who are having the deficiency of pantothenic acid, their feet will, you can feel the sensation of burning. So that is the symptom. Okay. So what is that? Burning feet is the disease. Walking problems and sprain. Sprain means there will be problem with the backbone, okay, and walking problems also. Next one is biotin. This is vitamin B9. See, children, B1 is thiamine, B2 is riboflavin, B3 is niacin, and B5 is folic acid, B6 is pyridoxine, B7 is pantothenic acid, B9 is biotin, B12 is cyanocobalamin. Let's see the biotin. The resources are pulses, nuts, vegetables, liver, milk, kidney. And what is the problem? If we are not having sufficient amounts of biotin, then the problem is nerve disorders. We have nerves in our body, okay? If there is no deficiency of this vitamin, we can feel the nerve disorders, and the symptoms is fatigue. Fatigue is tiredness. Fatigue is tiredness, children. Fatigue is tiredness. Fatigue is tiredness. Mental depression, you know the word very well. Psychologically, the people go for mental depression and muscle pains. So this is about vitamin B complex. One more is also there, vitamin C. Vitamin C. So vitamin C is ascorbic acid. What is this, children? Ascorbic acid. So both B complex vitamins and vitamin C are water soluble. So the resources are green leafy vegetables, citrus fruits. Like citrus fruits means you can go for orange, okay, or lemon. All these are citrus fruits and sprouts. And the deficiency disease is scurvy. What is that, children? The deficiency disease is scurvy. If there is a deficiency of vitamin C, ascorbic acid, then we will suffer with a disease called scurvy. And here, what are the symptoms? Delay in healing of wounds. Usually, when we get hurt or when we get injury and when there is a wound, within few days or 1 month, the wound will be healed. But for these people who are not having proper vitamin C, then there will be delay in healing of wounds, fractures in bones. So this is about vitamin B complex and C. Now let's see fat soluble vitamins. Okay. Children, we have seen vitamin B complex and vitamin C, their resources, deficiency, diseases and symptoms. Now it is now the turn is fat soluble vitamins. As you know that 4 vitamins are there which are soluble in the fats. What are those, children? I told you already. A, D, E, K. A, D, E, K. Vitamin A is retinol. What is this, children? Retinol is vitamin A. Let's see the resources. So many resources are there. Leafy vegetables, you know, spinach, amaranth, all these are leafy vegetables. Carrot, tomato, pumpkin, papaya, mango, meat, fish, egg, liver, milk. Cod liver oil is a type of fish liver oil. Even shark is also a fish. Okay. Cod liver oil and shark liver oil. In these two fishes, from these oils we will get vitamin A. Leafy vegetables, carrot, tomato, pumpkin, papaya, mango, meat, fish, egg, liver, milk, cod liver oil, shark liver oil. And deficiency diseases are eye and skin diseases. So here, what are the deficiency diseases, children? Eye and skin. If vitamin A is not there properly, then the people will suffer with the two types of disease, eye and skin diseases. The symptoms are night blindness. What do you mean by night blindness? The people with night blindness, they can see the things or the objects only in the daytime, not in the night time. But we see even in the dim light also, but these people can't see. That is called as night blindness. Xerophthalmia. So next one is xerophthalmia. What is xerophthalmia? Xerophthalmia is considered as dry eyes. Dry eyes. That means usually our eyes will be wet, yes or no? But these people, the eyes will be dry. Dry eyes. Next one, cornea failure. Cornea is a very important part in the eye that will be failed, and scaly skin. Once again, the scaly skin. That is why eating carrots or leafy vegetables is good for our eyesight. Okay, eat properly. Next one is calciferol. Next one is calciferol. Calciferol is vitamin D. Okay, and so many sources are there. Liver, egg, butter, cod liver I already told. Shark liver oil, sun rays, yes, that is the reason. In the early morning sun rays, if we are exposed to the sun, we will get vitamin D. Okay, sun rays stimulate the formation of vitamin D from the subcutaneous fat. So many people will think that there will be D in the rays. No, actually those rays stimulate, actually vitamin D is present in our subcutaneous means skin. Okay, that will be stimulated by the sun rays. That is why vitamin D is very important. Okay, sun rays are important for vitamin D. And what is the disease if there is no proper vitamin? Rickets. What is that, children? Rickets. Improper formation of bones is the symptom. Knock knees. Knock knees. For example, if our knees, this is called as knock knees, then two knees will touch while they are walking. That is called as knock knees. Swollen wrist will be swollen. Delayed dentition, the teeth will not be properly in the children, and weak bones. So once again I will tell the symptoms: improper formation of bones, knock knees, swollen wrist, delayed dentition, weak bones. This is the calciferol. Let's go for the third one, tocopherol. That is vitamin E. This is called anti-sterility vitamin. This is anti-sterility vitamin. And the resources are fruits, vegetables, sprouts, sunflower oil. And this is related to fertility related disorders. Okay, fertility related disorders means usually this vitamin is useful for reproduction. Okay, if there is if there is a deficiency of vitamin E, then the sterility in males will be caused. The males will not, sterility means they are not fertile, they are not fit for reproduction. And abortion in females. In females, if there is a deficiency of this vitamin, then there will be failure in the pregnancy, which is called as abortion. Next one is phylloquinone. Phylloquinone, it is vitamin K. The resources are green leafy vegetables, milk, meat, egg, and the disease. If this vitamin is less, related to blood clotting, problems related to blood clotting. That means this is very important for the blood clotting. Whenever there is an injury or when there is a bleeding, immediately within 3 to 6 minutes, okay, our bleeding should be stopped. That means this vitamin helps to stop that bleeding. If this vitamin is not there, then there will be loss of blood. So here, delay in blood clotting, over bleeding. Delay in blood clotting, over bleeding. Children, this is what you have learned, and you can take page number 20. That is keywords you have learned here: glucose, starch, cellulose, chloroplast, grana, stroma, light reaction, dark reaction, autotrophic nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition, parasitic nutrition, haustoria, alimentary canal, salivary glands, peristaltic movement, amylase, tyalin, pepsin, chyme, sphincter, digestion, pancreas, enzymes, villi, bile juice, lipase, fat, emulsification, kwashiorkor and marasmus. Okay. Children, now we have completed the lesson. Let us recapitulate once again by following points, which are there in the page number 20 and 21. The first one, autotrophic nutrition. Children, you know that autotrophic nutrition involves the intake of simple inorganic material like small minerals, okay, waste, etc. from the soil. Also some gases from the air. Simply, autotrophic nutrition. What do you mean by autotrophic nutrition? Autotrophs are those organisms which can prepare their own food material themselves. So how they prepare? They prepare by taking the gases from the air and water and minerals from the soil. The simple inorganic materials are converted to complex organic materials. Those are carbohydrates. Next one, how they prepare their own food material themselves. That is called as photosynthesis. So second point is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, already I told you, it is a photochemical reaction in which plants prepare their own food material themselves by using chlorophyll. Next one is here see water, sunlight and carbon dioxide. Next one, equation for photosynthesis. Already I told the equation 6CO2 plus 12H2O give rise to C6H12O6 plus 6O2 plus 6H2O in the presence of sunlight with the help of chlorophyll. This is a balanced equation for photosynthesis. And what are the things that are required? Factors, materials means carbon dioxide, you can see, water, you can see, okay, and sunlight and chlorophyll. Next one is chlorophyll. Where this chlorophyll is present? In the chloroplast. So chloroplasts are the sites for photosynthesis. So chloroplasts are sites for photosynthesis. Chloroplasts are sites of photosynthesis. And this chloroplast you have already seen in the transverse section of leaf. In the chloroplast, grana and stroma are there. Grana is a site for light reaction, stroma is a site for enzymatic reaction. Alright. The end products of photosynthesis are very important: glucose, water and oxygen. So what are the end products of photosynthesis? What are the end products of photosynthesis? What are the end products, children? Yes, the end products are glucose, water and oxygen. Glucose, water and oxygen. These are the three end products. Next one. During photosynthesis, yes, we have already told you two reactions, mechanism of photosynthesis, light reaction and dark reaction. Light reaction contains two steps. One is conversion of light energy into chemical energy. The other one is splitting of water molecule, which is called as photolysis. And the third one is in dark reaction. What happens? Reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates will take place. So this is about autotrophic nutrition. Now let's go for heterotrophic nutrition. So heterotrophic nutrition involves the intake of complex material prepared by other organisms. Okay. So here you can see the availability, the form of nutrition depends. The digestion or the form of nutrition depends upon the type and availability of the food material. So in single-celled organisms, as you have seen in the amoeba and paramecium, okay, how they take the food material, and in the multicellular organisms also, the food may be, in single-celled organism, the food may be taken by the entire surface. But as the complexity of the organism increases, different parts become specialized to perform different functions. Right. So we have seen the digestion. The large complex food molecules such as carbohydrates, proteins and fats are broken down into the simple ones. This process is called digestion. In human beings, the food is broken down in various steps with the help of enzymes and digestive juices which are released from different glands, and finally the food is absorbed in the small intestine. And I already told you there are 4 steps in the digestion, okay, process. One is ingestion. What is ingestion, children? Intake of food. Second one is digestion. conversion of complex food molecules into simple one. Third one is absorption, transport of digested food into the blood, the products into the blood, and finally defecation. Defecation is expulsion of waste. So that is there, you can see taking of food into the body is ingestion, breaking down of complex food into the simple ones is the digestion, the passage of digested food through the elementary walls of alimentary canal into circulatory system is absorption, and defecation is passage of undigested material from the body by the way of anus. So this is the end of the chapter number 1. Okay.